Yeah, where's your clapper at, man? You're holding things up. You got it right there, Craig?
Oh yeah, I got it. Wait a minute.
I can edit the first part out.
This is the Stone Roadie show, and this will be
the damn thing for you.
This will be number 25, I believe.
26.
No, 26. Yeah, this will
26.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. The Stone Roadie show number 26, and that will be what do you call this? Yeah. Take one, roll one, and burn one. Stone Roadie show number 26.
Welcome to the Stoned Roadie Show, and here we are again with Craig Reed, the most famous roadie in rock and roll history. And today we have joining us again Mike Estes, and no, he's not flying in a plane, he's in a car, and he's going to be arriving.
I'm in Kentucky.
Yeah, his destination in probably about another 50 minutes. And then back with us is Paul Abraham. So we're really lucky to have these guys with us. One thing about Mike Estes is he's one guy that you might know. He punched Alan Collins right in the nose, in case you didn't know that.
Pow, right in the kisser.
So if you were watching a couple podcasts back, you'd find out. So you might want to go back and look at that. And then, of course, Craig Reed back at the hotel. Lord, we got such a mess. We had a crew that had to go with one of the guests. Ronnie wrote that about Craig, in case you didn't know that, and you're gonna have to go back to hear
one
that.
of the things that made me one of the most famous roadie that ever existed in the dawn of time since the beginning of Earth.
Paul Abraham is the 10-year manager of Lynyrd Skynyrd, and he's got lots of good information.
Well, look, you said that Mike hit Alan. Craig hit some van, and I hit Johnny. Right between the damn eyes.
Well, we got to hear that story. Do tell.
And Johnny hit Ed.
yeah, right. But I got him right after that.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
Oh hell yeah! I wrote about it in the damn book.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have a little talk and chat about that. What happened, Paul?
We were in Paris, France, not Paris, Tennessee, or Texas, but we were in France, and I know Craig remembers this night.
Oh yeah,
we
played
this
one of these nights.
We played a bar. I mean, it was a thousand people in that bar, and after Alabama, we went back to the dressing room, and Johnny was. I mean, there wasn't anything to offset the liquor that they were drinking. So if you get my drift,
yeah.
Johnny was just, man, he was messed up as he could be, and him and Randall got in some kind of shouting match back there before we got them back on stage, and they were pushing and shoving back in the dressing room. Finally got them back on the stage. They finished the show. We get back to the hotel. Johnny takes a swing at Ed, and Ed throws his hand up, and he breaks Ed's slide guitar finger. That one right there, his middle finger.
Wow.
And after that, we got, everybody got back to the room and all that stuff, and we get a phone call that Johnny is in there, and him and Becky are fussing, and they were just worried that something was going to happen. So I go down there, knock on the door. Becky lets me in. Johnny picked up one of them steel and strap things you put your suitcase on that the fine hotels have. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And he flung that damn thing at me and hit me right across my shin. And then he came running at me. And he really shouldn't have done that, man, because I did. I decked him. I hit him right between the eyes, and then I gave him an uppercut to the ribs. And he went down, and it was over. It was over and done. I mean, it was over and done. The gendarme came, and Johnny was telling the gendarme to put me in jail because I assaulted him. And I ended up, I talked John Darm down and all this stuff. It was only one hotel security guy, but
I've always wondered how you pronounce that.
well, now you know. I can't spell it, but I can pronounce it. But anyway, the next day, we're out in front of the hotel, and Johnny walks out with sunglasses on. I'm like, oh, shit. I said, they're going to fire my ass bigger than shit over this. And so Gary and Dale come out, and Gary says, how can we get back to London without having to get on that plane with him? And I'm like, well, we don't have a show tonight, so we can ride the bus back. We can ride the bus and cross the English Channel on the ferry. He said, that's what we're going to do. So me and Craig got everybody off, and Big Lou was there at the time. They got everybody off to London, and me and Gary and Dale rode back on the bus. And that was basically the end of it. But Johnny told me, he said, I'm going to get you one of these days. He said, I'm gonna creep your ass. He said, I'm gonna creep your ass, and I'm gonna get you back for that. But no, me and Johnny okay. I mean, you can't stay mad at him for long.
Hey, Paul, I think Johnny's got a bad knee. In case you need that information, you might be able to, Sorry, Johnny, if you're listening.
Yeah.
So,
hey, I
heard that he had a bad knee. So do I. I had like the worst thing. I still don't even know how I did it. I had a torn meniscus, a fractured femur, and something else. After a strained ACL, and all at the same time. And it was still don't know how I did it.
Well,
just old age, I guess.
I've had meniscus surgery on. I've got 3 bad knees: my left knee meniscus, my right knee meniscus, and my wee knee. They just so raw of that, so I can't. Ain't nothing I can do about that.
I went to the doctor yesterday, and I fell on this arm here. You can see, and I actually got a steel plate right here in my arm, and this won't heal. It's happened for a long time. And here I got to get that steel plate taken out of my arm right here. And it won't hurt. But it's not a big deal. It's an inpatient surgery, and it won't be bad because I ain't got no fat on my arm. If they had to dig through a bunch of fat, they might be hurt.
What's that thing connected to?
They just pull it right out. I told them I wanted to put it in a frame, and then I'm going to frame it. And I'm gonna put it on eBay, and I'm gonna sell it. And I hope it, and I hope it brings more money than any other implant removal. And then I'll get on the Guinness Book of World Records for selling an implant for the most money ever.
Somebody, Craig, they might accuse you of that not being real because that's happened.
That's funny.
Yeah, I woke up so broke. I was going to sell one of my kidneys, but then I figured out. Then I remembered that I only have one. So.
Oh God!
Oh, you only have one, and Paul only has one, and I only have one. So
really?
Yeah.
Were you born that way?
Well, no, it was when I was little.
Oh,
yeah, same with me. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's why the doctor told me get off those motorcycles. You can't afford to damage that only one you got left,
Yeah, they told me the same thing.
Mine's doing pretty good, as far as I know. Just everything else is falling apart.
Oh God, no.
So, Craig, when you supposed to get that plate out?
They said it'll be a couple months, but when I can stick there's right there. There's a hole in my arm, and I can stick a Q-tip in and touch the bone. I mean,
is that what's causing it? Is that what's causing the
plate? Yeah, the plate. Somehow, when I fell on that plate, it messed the plate up, and now it's played out. But I don't need the plate now. But I shattered my elbow. I haven't been good on this arm. I shattered that elbow, and I had to put a plate in there.
Dang, son.
That wasn't Skynyrd related?
No, that was drug related.
Trump
Or alcohol, or both, you know.
It was Trump's fault.
Yeah, hey Craig, tell us about what you got in the background right there on your right and your left.
Oh yeah, thanks you for asking. Hey, yeah, my friend, I got all kind of cool friends all over the country that ask me to come visit them and stuff, you know. And I just got to the point where I'm not leaving the house until after the election, you know. It's just that, you know, come to October, that's pretty close to the election. I don't think I'm gonna leave the house. It's hard to tell what the heck's gonna go on. But yeah, my buddy Don Shelf out there, he owns affordable a gate, and he makes security gates out in Mesa, Arizona, and he's got a laser cutter or whatever, and he made me the
plasma cutter.
Yeah, plasma cutter, and he made me the Trump Punisher here, and the cross guitars here, and they got my name in them. You can see Craig Reed in there. It's hard to point backwards. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, him and his lovely wife Marsha out there were asking me to come out there. They're going to have a Lynyrd Skynyrd tribute band here in October, and he wanted me to come out there. He's got some really cool toys, man. He's got 1,450 horsepower dune buggies and stuff, and does wheelies all the way across the desert. Mesa, Arizona. He's got all kind of. He's got a Chevelle with a blower, super blower actually.
What year model is it?
70. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one, man. Good for him.
And then he just bought a pickup truck same year, C10 it is. It's all customized and stuff. Yeah, he's got some really cool cars. But let's give a shout out to my buddy Don Shelf for sending me these two lovely items here I got on my wall.
Hey, tell Don I'm in the market for a gate.
That'd be pretty expensive to ship it from Mesa, Arizona.
How about that gate, Gary's old gate at his house in Florida? They had that was a cool gate. You might be able to go get that one. You know what
I wonder if it's still there.
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, I think they covered it up with an American flag.
Oh.
In case people don't know what that is, it was a rebel. Was it a rebel flag?
Yeah,
it's a battle flag.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
so we got a lot of questions from our fans here.
Yeah, we do. You want to go? You want to go through some of those right now, Craig?
I saw one the other day about on there that said, is Gary talkative, or is he kind of shy, or what?
Yeah, that is on it. You want to elaborate on that, Paul?
Hell yeah, I got an answer.
All right, man, hit it.
We never let him get close to a microphone. Never. I mean, he's. Remember when we were in Japan, Mike? I think this was on. We were playing 3 days in a row at the NHK Hall.
NHK Hall, yeah, I'll never forget it.
Well, for 3 days, the people come in and we start the show at 6 o'clock. It's just us, right?
Yep.
These guys, everybody comes in with their little ties on and their briefcases, and they sit down and they watch the show, and they're all real, behaved. Yeah, they're behaved. Yep. Third day, they're fighting like crazy in the front row. For some reason, I don't know why, but Gary, he goes up to the microphone. You remember this, Mike?
Yes.
He goes up to the microphone and he starts talking about, thank y'all for blah, blah, blah. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. But I just realized y'all don't understand what I'm saying, so fuck you. And so we didn't let Gary get on the microphone. Man, I'm going to tell you.
What was funny about those Japan shows is there was probably, I don't know, 3% of the people there spoke English. But they knew all the words to all them classic songs.
Every one of them, buddy.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
it was the strangest thing, because they would sing that you could hear them out there from the stage singing Simple Man.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. And then, and that was like the only time I saw lighters in Japan, you know, where they were holding them up.
Yeah.
And, but that was, Paulie, do you remember, well, I think it was our last show there, and we were leaving to get on that little bus, and there, and you reached in the whole crowd of them and pulled me out by the collar.
Yes, I remember that.
The jacket I was wearing's got Sharpie marks all over it from where they had Sharpies. And, you know? And I'm like twice the size of any of them, so you could reach it. You reached right in there and pulled me out by the collar. Got me on the dang bus. I never went. And then I got on the bus, and everybody's standing there looking at me, or sitting there looking at me, and I go, "Hey man, I feel like I'm in the Beatles."
I tell you, yeah,
there was a lot of head shaking. There was some eye rolling and head shaking went on.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yeah,
Mike, aren't you on your way over to Europe here this weekend or something?
Yeah, I leave Sunday. Actually, I'm gonna try to do some. Depending on if the time works out, what I might do is be like y'all's European correspondent while I'm over there.
Yeah, there's a 6-hour time difference.
Yeah.
It'll go. I think I'm going to, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 countries. It's UK, it's Great Britain, Spain, France, Netherlands, and Germany, and Belgium. Yeah.
What time does y'all set usually start?
Usually they start at like sometime. Man, if you go to Scandinavia, you might not go on till midnight. And, but in those countries, it's usually pretty early. It's usually no later than 9:30. So
yeah. How long's your set?
Hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on the enthusiasm of the crowd.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, Paul, you were talking about Gary on the mic. I did see one thing that he did on a video one time. He's got a pretty good sense of humor. Him and Johnny were there at the graveyard visiting some of the graves, and and then Johnny says, "Do you have a plot here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I got it. It's over here." And they started walking that way, and he goes, "Wait a minute, I'm not ready to go over there yet."
Yeah. I remember seeing that. Seeing it.
All right, well, let's get to these questions here, I guess. That was the first one that you mentioned, Paul. It was Terry Diffie. He asked, was Gary very talkative? And looks like Paul hemmed that up right there.
Well, he was pretty talkative when we were on the bus, you know.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, in out in public, no, he didn't talk that much, and we didn't encourage him to.
The same guy asked another question. How many times did Gary and Alan get into arguments while arranging chord progressions? That's probably
me not being a musician, I don't know. I didn't really personally witness them have any musical conflicts with writing, because I don't know a lot about music, but I remember one of them saying they played a sharp too much or something like that. He hit a note that was sharp or something. I don't know.
Minors and majors.
Majors, yeah. There you go. He plays a minor. Yeah, that's what he said. He played a minor there. So.
Yeah.
And we got another one from the same guy. He's hitting 1,000 today. It's known that Ronnie was going to give the band to Johnny due to complications with his voice. How many shows did they have to cancel due to Ronnie's problem with his voice?
There were a few. Yeah, there were a few where we had to, and I don't see how we went out and played when we did, or when they did, because to me, if my throat goes out, it's out for 6 months. I mean, if I'm spitting blood, I'm not going to be able to talk for 6 months. And it seemed like it was just, a couple weeks, and we would be back on the road, and I couldn't understand that because I saw him spit blood.
Yeah.
But it was a couple of times, but I think a lot of the times it was at the end of the tour, so it didn't really matter that much.
And here's another question to you, Craig, the Stoned Roadie. Rex Moore, the famous Stoned Roadie. What's your favorite story about Ronnie? Now, I know you got a lot of favorites. What was Ronnie, what did he like about the snakeskin high roller hat so much? I think you had something to do with getting that.
Well, I don't really remember being an influence to get that hat. Bob Burns used to wear a hat that resembled that, I think, before even Ronnie did it. But as far as Ronnie, the favorite story about me, I think the one where Ronnie was the proudest, I think, or whatever you want to say, he come over to my apartment and come up the stairs, and he had the first gold album that they were presented, and he had it, and he showed it to me, and I kind of thought he was bringing it over for me, and I kind of like stuck it up on my wall and measured it, going, and then I realized it wasn't for me, so I gave it back to him. But yeah, I think that was pretty cool. Yeah, he was pretty proud of getting that first gold album. Him and Judy came over and come up, and he showed it to me. He was pretty proud of that. Yeah.
Good memory.
You almost took it.
Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, thanks, Roddy.
We got a question for Mike from Scott Kennel. When you going to play a show in Jacksonville?
Well, we are working on a Florida run for February, I believe it is. We're playing it on the Rock Legends cruise in February, and so we were going to do a run up to that in Florida, and I was hoping we could start in Jacksonville, actually. So Luke just played there with somebody he was out doing a hired gun deal with, my bass player Luke Bradshaw, and he played in Jacksonville, and he said, man, he talked to some people that said they really want to get us down here. So we're going to try to do that before the Rock Legends cruise, the weekend before.
Now that Rock Legends cruise, that's pretty cool.
It is, yeah.
A lot of people don't know about that, but that thing, man, that's Artemis Band been on there quite a few times, and I think him and Bob Burns both went out on that together once, and did a few.
I've been on it twice, and I played with Blackfoot one year, and then with the same guys that were in Blackfoot, we played the next year, and we were called Fired Guns.
Great name for a band, buddy.
Fired Guns.
Here's a good one, probably for Paul. Nick Watts. Being from Florida, I was wondering how the band dealt with the cold winters up north while on tour, especially Detroit. You know anything about that, Paul?
I don't.
Billy dealt with it.
Billy dealt with it fine. We called him Mr. Freeze. It didn't matter to him. Yeah, we flew into Anchorage one time, and Billy had shorts, shorts, and a damn one of those damn Hawaiian shirts. You've seen Billy in this time. Yeah, and I don't think that they go from the hotel to the bus to the venue back to the, so they didn't spend a lot of time outside. I don't see where it made a big deal. Not at all.
I mean, like outside venues, though, you know.
Well, you're not gonna play outdoor venues when it's cold. I mean, we played at Red Rocks a couple times, and even in the summertime at night it gets cold. And there's other places like that too. But no, we never dealt with the cold that much. Hell, most of our touring was done in spring, fall, summer, stuff like that. We didn't do a lot of winter tours.
I remember one time we were in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and it was freezing. and there was about a foot of snow on the ground, and I had to go out to the bus to get something. The bus had been sitting there for 2 days.
Oof.
And I like to never got out because the locks were like I could lock, and it was insanely cold on the Skynyrd tour.
Yeah. Well, we just didn't. We had a few times, but not that much. Hell, we went to Jackson Hole in the middle of winter one time. We went up there to do that damn rehearsal thing. But I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, Mike, your opinion.
He must be switching back to 4G somewhere.
Yeah, he's pinging on it.
Well, while we're waiting him to come back in, we got a question.
Am I pinging?
From yeah, we can
No,
hear you.
it's my radar detector.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Kathy,
You're in and out like the burger in California, the In and Out burger.
Hey,
Kathy,
I could have one of those right now.
Kathy Keeble, Craig and our friend, she's a big Skynyrd fan. We all know Kathy. Want to know more about Dean Kilpatrick and hear some stories about him. Craig, you and Dean were the only Yankees, I think, in the bunch. Can you think of a great Dean story?
Oh, Dean was a character. Dean and I got to be really pretty close. As a matter of fact, when I first got with Skynyrd, I kind of lived at Dean's apartment for a little bit, before Chad and Stu came down to Jacksonville. I actually lived at with Dean, and yeah, we had some good stories. I was there, and some of Dean's friends come over, and I didn't know them, and they didn't know me, but they said, "Hey, come with us to a party." So I went with them to this party, and they were drinking mushroom tea, and that was the first time I ever had any mushroom tea, and I drank that stuff. And the next thing I know, I was on the floor. I didn't even know it. I was waking up on the floor.
I think there was a song written about
that. Freaked those people out. They didn't know me and didn't know my health condition. They thought I died on their floor. They were tripping and freaking out. And I woke up and I was going, "Hey, what's going on?" They were all white as a ghost. No, that's dead, But yeah, that was kind of funny, but didn't involve Dean, but he thought it was funny. But oh my God, me and Dean had so many. Yeah, there was so many fun. Dean would walk up to me during a show, and I'd be sitting there doing drums. I was at that time, and he'd walk up and say, "Open your mouth and stick your tongue out." And I just do it, and I'd close my mouth. I didn't know if I was going up, down, or sideways, but I knew it was going to be fun,
That's funny.
That leads me to a question. We don't discriminate on questions, even from new fans like Carol Dickerson, who says, "Who are the Stone Roadies?"
Yeah, I answered her. I said, "I'm the one and only." Hey, but I got a good Facebook, a new Facebook friend on her, Kathy Goodsey. Yeah, I talked to her the other day on the phone for about an hour, and she was telling me how she just oh God, what's the word? Adored Alan, she was just fantasized by Alan, and I guess she got a hold of Gene Odom and came to Florida. It was just during the Rossington Collins era, and she was still a teenager, I guess. And Gene took her over to Alan's, and she actually was at Alan's house when she was just a teenager, and she was talking about how Gene was such a gentleman, and he could have taken advantage of those young girls, And I said, well, Gene is really a gentleman. He's not as much as a womanizer as the rest of us were, But you wouldn't have wanted to been around Alan when he was by himself. But yeah,
I've seen that in action.
I put a shout out to Kathy Goodsey. She's pretty cool. She's one of, and she's. Let me see if she's out there. Here, let me see. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there you are. I see you out there. Yeah. Okay. There you are. Remember Romper Room?
Yeah, Romper Room. Yeah.
Romper Room. That magnified. There's my buddies out there. There's Kevin and Joe and Pete, Cheryl.
Hey. No, when Skynyrd played for us here in Cleveland, Mississippi, the band was off the next day. And Craig, I think you went on with the crew or something, but the band stayed here for an extra day. And I took them all to this restaurant to eat, and we were drinking and carrying on. And Billy reached over to Alan's plate to get a French fry. And I mean, Alan stuck a fork. Doing! That damn fork was shaking. It went in his hand, man. And that was one of the things. But then we were drinking what they called at the bar. They called it skip and go nakeds. And man, we were all tore up. But that was just kind of a funny thing that happened that I thought about last week that I wanted to tell you about. Alan was wide open all the time. He was wide open all the time. He was
all the time. Yeah.
He was like, what the fuck you do that for? I just want a French fry.
I can't remember. I can't remember if we said anything about Billy's Elvis imitation last week. He did a hell of an Elvis imitation.
The party doll thing.
Yeah, he'd do Party Doll. He'd do songs that weren't even Elvis songs in Elvis's voice.
Oh yeah, that's funny. That is funny.
You
guys both do a good Billy Powell voice.
Sounds Lord, you hang out with him on a bus for 10 years, you start thinking like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to be quite the Yahtzee player thanks to Billy Powell. You know?
Oh yeah. Yeah, me too, buddy. We played, that's what we did. All of them. That people thought we were on there drinking and getting women all up on the bus. We were sitting up here playing Yahtzee and watching the damn Three Stooges and Popeye.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember one time, this goes with the STONED Roadie thing. Me and Billy was playing Yahtzee, and we're in the front lounge at that table, facing each other, and then look out the window. That it looked like, how could a water tower be on fire? I don't know. It's water, but it looked like the water tower was on fire. And there's this billowing black smoke right by the water tower, covering most of it. It was a big cloud of black smoke. And I said, man, I wonder what's going on over there. And Billy looked at me and said, Craig's over there smoking pot. Never will forget that. I laughed. Oh, God.
That was great.
Just like Dean Kilpatrick's drawing there, you see all that smoke coming in the background back there. Dean had him pegged. Hey, Paul, we sometimes see you playing guitar and stuff, and you play pretty good mean guitar and sing and stuff. You ever play with any of the guys, like Gary?
They didn't even know I played guitar. Man.
Oh, they didn't?
No. Hell no. And I don't, I strum. I'm not a picker by any stretch, I've always been able to sing.
John Prine. You do a main John Prine.
I love John Prine.
Man, what's not?
Well, hey, I got a John Prine story. I went to see John Prine one time, and we were sitting dead center stage in a table right in front, and I kept yelling at him, play flag decal, play flag decal. And he said, oh, I don't play that anymore. And then finally he said, you know what, I'm gonna play it just for you. And he started the song, got through the first verse, got to the second verse and couldn't remember the words. So I was his prompter. I told him, I said, I went to the bank. And then he said, oh yeah. And then he finished the song.
Then he finished, huh? Well, damn, that's good, man.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I think Ronnie liked him too, right? Didn't Ronnie like him?
I don't know. I mean, God, you know, John Prine was so quirky, man. He's always been one of my favorites.
Yeah, man. He was like on his own planet. He's really good.
Yeah.
I've known Paul for 50 years, and I just found out he played and sang guitar on Facebook. Just, you know.
Well, hey, you know, I tell you what,
he never did on the road. I never saw it.
Yes, he did.
Maybe a couple of times
I did with Mikey a few times.
Yeah, me and Paul used to sit in the back lounge and do guitar pulls. And
see, I rode on the other bus.
That's right.
I rode on that other bus when that.
Yeah, they were trying to keep.
I rode on the milk and cookies bus then. I was on the milk and cookies bus for a while.
Yeah, you were. That's right.
Yeah, you guys were on the party bus, and I was on the milk and cookies bus at that time.
The COVID thing got me to doing that. I was sitting here at home and just bored to dang death, and I started, you know, I'd see a song or hear a song. And I said, oh man, I used to know that song. So I'll pick it up and I'll relearn it and then put it up on Facebook just to, you know, let people. I tell you what it was. I always loved to play in front of people. But Sandy thought the only reason I played guitar was so I could pick up chicks. So I quit playing, and for a long time I never played anymore, and so I don't know. I finally just decided I'd go up there and do that.
Good.
Let people, you know it. I have fun doing it, and I picked up a bunch of Leon Russell stuff the other day. I was playing A Song for You and Baby Jane and This Masquerade. Those Leon Russell songs that are so classic, man.
Yeah, they've been selling a bunch of his gear out of his studio in Nashville.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
They had his board, his recorder, studio record, all kinds of stuff just come up.
Yeah,
like 2 weeks. And place was iconic. I had a couple out in Tulsa. So
yeah,
but it's all his gear, and they believe me, they want a bunch of money for it too.
Oh, I bet. I ran into him at the airport there a time or two. You know, he was walking on a cane. Just I love Leon Russell, man. I always have.
Hey, Mike, you ever have, like, you're up on stage, have a brain fart, and then you just forgot the whole chord progression or something? I don't know. He looks like he's frozen there. You might not be able to hear me. Yo, Mike. Yeah,
he's frozen.
Can he hear you?
He's moving down the road, man. That's what's going on.
There he come up.
Did you get that question, Mike?
Yeah, I've never really forgot like chord progressions is a, you know, chord progression that goes over, and I've never had that problem. Luckily I'm good at remembering lyrics too. But I've had a few brain farts, like when we were on stage with Skynyrd, some shed we were playing, and I was standing up there during "Give Me 3 Steps." I never will forget it. I don't know if anybody knows this happened, because I don't remember telling anybody. But I guess I had my mouth open and I inhaled a damn moth right there in front of God and everybody. And man, I gotta tell you, if you think eating peanut butter without milk is bad, try moth without anything.
Oh my God!
Luckily, I didn't even chew it. It was. Oh my God! How did this happen?
Yeah, I guess the stranger things have happened, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Hey, fellers, I'm at my dad's now. I'm going to go in and hang with him for a while, and it was great hanging with you guys again.
Yeah, okay, and we'll be in touch with you for when you're over there in Europe, and you'll be our correspondent.
I'll do her. Thanks, guys. I love you.
George, hi, Mike.
I'll do her.
Later,
Bye.
Mike.
Bye-bye.
See you, buddy.
See you, buddy.
Hey, Craig, there's a guy, Brian Thompson. He asks, is it awkward from going from a band like Lynyrd Skynyrd to a band like Journey?
It wasn't at all. I don't know why. It just, well, I guess because I had friends. You know, Kevin was there with Journey, and they were all. It was really weird coming from Lynyrd Skynyrd and Journey. Kind of Lynyrd Skynyrd kind of was really an influence with Journey as far as breaking them into the big time, because Journey opened up for Skynyrd, and I even heard Neil say something like Lynyrd Skynyrd brought him. In their head, brought them into another level as far as the music goes, and they were real accepting. I guess, I don't know, because I came from Lynyrd Skynyrd, and then Foreigner was first, and they were really accepting to me too. And then, then I worked with Marshall Tucker, and I kind of already knew Doug and Jerry from the old days. So there was never a big transition for me that was really strange. No.
And then, so go ahead, Paul.
I was just going to say, after I left Skynyrd, and then I worked in the country music business for, just the next year. With an artist named Michael Peterson, and that was it was a little bit strange because these guys were all real super straight and everything, so that was different. But going to work for Billy Ray and working with his guys, God, man, I'm gonna tell you something. It was like a walk in the park working for another artist after being trained to work for artists by Skynyrd. If you know what I mean, man. It was night and day. I didn't stress nearly as much as when I was working for Skynyrd. Hell, when I started advancing shows, and I was living out in the middle of the damn Rocky Mountains. Hell, I'd start getting these damn fever blisters on right here in the corner of my mouth, and they were from stress, and I wasn't even on the road yet, and I'm like, God, man, those guys are gonna kill me one of these days.
I always stress the term surviving Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah.
It's like what it is, surviving. Yeah. I literally survived working with Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah, exactly.
That leads me into a question from Stephen Jackman. This is a good question related to that. It says, Ricky Medlock and Larry Junstrom, why did they leave Skynyrd?
That's way before my time.
Yeah, that Larry Junstrom thing, and then there was also Larry Steele that started playing bass with Skynyrd. I think, God, before even Leon and Larry Junstrom did. I mean, I wasn't around at that time, so I don't know the evolution of that whole sequence, but Leon seemed to be the preferred bass player, and I think that's kind of obvious why he was. He's got a real unique style. Leon is one of the best bass players. Some of his songs like Double Trouble and stuff, his riffs, man, he used to love to look at me because he knew the ones I liked to hear him play. Do just real simple stuff, and he'd turn around to me and just play for me,
Yeah, I've seen him do that before.
Yeah,
he was so much fun to watch, man. I tell you what, he really was. And Billy was fun to watch too. It really was.
When I got down to Florida, it was already a foundation, because Edgar was in there too as a bass player. So they, but when I got down there, it was already a solid foundation. It was Leon and Ed, and
right,
and Larry Junstrom was already over in 38, and they were doing their thing, and Larry Steele was 38's roadie.
right.
One of their main roadie. So.
Yep.
We got one more question, and we could probably wrap it up. Kathy Keeble has a good one here. She's always wondered, in you guys' opinion, are there any Lynyrd Skynyrd songs in the vault anywhere that haven't been released? Seems like it.
Cottonmouth Country they have is the only one that I remember, and I can't remember even the words to it, and I think everybody's having difficulty pulling that one out of the hat. There's got to be a recording of it somewhere, but that's the only one that strikes me off of my head. Cottonmouth Country. There was, I don't think they ever worked that one up.
Did you ever hear him play anything, Paul, that you never recognized, or were they just messing around?
No, not really. I mean, I've heard like Gary and Mike writing together. I've sat in on a couple of those. There's probably songs out there that they've written. I know Gary and Mike wrote a song called Second Base. And I actually pitched it to Tim McGraw, which he obviously didn't cut it. But, I'm sure there's stuff out there. I don't know whether there's anything recorded or not, but I'd almost bet there was. I think that might be a question for Judy.
Yeah, let's get her on here. Give her a call there, Paul, and see if you can get her.
I don't have her number, man. I don't have her number. I sure don't.
Well, Craig, you got anything else?
No,
I don't think so.
I do. I got one more thing to say, y'all, and I'm gonna tell you something. That GoFundMe thing has blown my mind. It really has. I mean, I want to thank everybody that even thought about doing it, because it's just gone beyond my wildest dreams. I got doctors in my future, doctors in my past that are still, waiting to be paid. And now I can breathe a lot easier right now because people have really come through for me. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. So just so everybody knows that I did go to the doctor this morning, and my next meeting is with another surgeon. So it's going to be, there's more in my future, and hopefully my future will be, pretty long anyway. I've been here a long time, but hey, I ain't ready to go nowhere yet.
Yeah, well,
anyway, that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to thank everybody, because that's just, it's been incredible. It really has.
Craig, do you probably know more than Paul, because he didn't even know anything about it, but how much longer that GoFundMe is going to be up for?
I heard it runs up until November. This one does, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I got some ideas I want to put out there for some people to add to that fund, because we sure want to see you get some help.
Yeah, I just hope that we put a $10,000 thing on their goal, and I just hope that amount will be sufficient in the long run of the whole thing.
You can be the richest person in the world, and you get a tumor the size of a tobacco seed, and it changes your life.
Yeah, you're right.
And none of us are exempt from that. So,
yeah.
Paul, we wish you all the best, but we're going to have you back on here. And
hey, anytime, man. I'm here. I was saying a little while ago, if you do it one day and I happen to be in the hospital, hell, I'll just take my damn iPad up in there or my phone up in there and do it from the damn hospital bed.
Yeah, you can do some nurse grabbing and then show us how that works.
Oh yeah, yes, sir, buddy. I'd be willing to do that. That's for sure. Man.
Greg, you got your clapper?
I do, yeah. So, all righty then. So that was episode 26 of the Stone Roadie Show, and I guess we're just gonna call that one a wrap, and we're gonna say, all righty then. That was the Stone Roadie Show number 26, and that was take one and roll one and burn one down.
Yowza.
Later. See you next time.